Alright everybody, we're going to go, this is part 2 of the Psykos Platters 5th year anniversary show. I know, I left you spinning around the last time. My battery of course died, but what a perfect way for it to die right at that moment so that I can at least go with part 2 here. Now where I left off at is, you saw the music room, which like I said is pretty cool. There's still some bare walls, but I'll have a little bit more stuff. I think I got some posters somewhere else too, but I'm happy with this. I am. As soon as I get my 45s put in the boxes and things like that, it'll be a lot more organized, and then I'm going to go into alphabetizing. That'll be the next thing. I might get one last mini bookcase type thing, kind of small, to hold some more vinyl, because this cabinet here is full of them. Okay, so I wanted to tell you really quick though, my stereo system, because I've had people ask me about this in the past. JVC 2-speed, it's a 3345. I wish I had 78 player, because I have 78s, and right now I can't play those right now. An Ontio receiver is what I've got. The thing's heavy, and man oh man, it's a great receiver, I'll tell you. Also, we got a Yamaha twin cassette. Currently one of the sides doesn't work, but at least I can play the tapes, which is great, and I think it's also the record head too, so I can do that if I wanted to. And then of course I got the Techniques 5 CD changer as well. I wouldn't mind hooking up somehow a CD burner eventually. I used to also have a reel-to-reel too, but yeah, that thing died on me a couple years ago. Alright, so back to the questions, alright? So we left off with, we just got done with Beat Up Record Collector. Awesome questions on that. Rohan Trednik, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Rohan. The first one he says is, what's my favorite decade of music? Well, believe it or not, my favorite decade of music is the 60s. I do like the 60s. Followed by maybe the 80s. I know that kind of sounds strange, but considering that you know that was the decade I was in high school, I'm a sucker for hair metal. That's where most of that stuff comes from. Number 2, if I could invite 5 musicians, living or dead, to a dinner party, who would they be? Well, you know what? I decided to do 2 answers. I did 5 dead celebs for a dinner party, and I did 5 live celebs for a dinner party. So the dead celebs that I would love to invite at a dinner party, and I thought I'd make this perfectly clear, I don't want them back in zombie form. That would not be fun. Number 1, Elvis. I'd love to have a dinner with Elvis. I think that'd be interesting. You know, get the fried chicken. Excuse me, but can you pass the mashed potatoes, please? John Lennon. Yeah, John Lennon and George Harrison. I would love to have at my dinner. Davy Jones, because I'm a huge Monkees fan too, and I miss him. And the 5th one is a toss-up. I thought either Kurt Cobain or Sid Vicious. Yeah, I want conversation. I want things. I think there'd be a strange conversation in that bit there. The 5 live ones: Paul McCartney. I'd like to see Paul. Dave Grohl. I've always liked Dave Grohl from Nirvana and Foo, of course. Jack White. Between Dave Grohl and Jack White, I probably would talk their ears off. Basically in regards to how they are some of what I call the new generation of keeping music alive and recognizing their pasts. I think that's awesome. Mike Nesmith, of course, he's the elusive one that I've never met. And Pete Townsend, believe it or not, he's another one. So those are my 5 live musicians I'd love to see. This one comes from Poptopia1. 10 favorite and 10 least favorite bands. Now, this list isn't 100% concrete, okay? But currently, right now, in my head, I didn't have time to pull out vinyl examples, guys, so don't skew me on this. But Beatles, of course. Beatles and Monkees, they're tied for number 1, but these are not in really any order. So Beatles and Monkees. Badfinger, I've always loved Badfinger. Kinks, The Who, The Stones, Moody Blues, Kiss, Van Halen, and Black Sabbath. Another one there that can be mixed into the pile sometimes is Led Zeppelin. I just got done listening to Led Zeppelin 1 and Coda this week as well. So that's my favorites. Now, least favorites? Some of you people are either going to roll your eyes or you'll agree with me. None of these are really in order except the last one I'm going to mention. So I'm going to go down the line here. Garth Brooks. Never been into Garth Brooks. I don't understand the whole thing. I don't. Well, he was a game changer, I guess, in country music, though, in pop and stuff like that, wasn't he? Whether you want to agree or not. We had a conversation about this week, actually. But Garth Brooks is not one of my favorites. ABBA. ABBA's another one. ABBA, in my opinion, only did one decent song. SOS. I actually like ABBA's SOS. Other than that, can't stand them. Here's one that I don't really get. I do like Tempted, but the rest of the Squeeze catalog, I don't get it. I've listened to it too. I've found 2 different Squeeze CDs. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm in the minority here. Here's one that I cannot stand. She's a no-talent hack, and I don't know how the hell she's managed to have a career for, let's see, she's been around since the early 60s, Barbra Streisand. Now, I can at least vouch and tell you that my collection is Streisand-free. It used to be a running joke between me, Tim, and Scott, but for a little bit briefly, I had a quad copy of Streisand's Stony End, but I ended up, I can't remember if I gave that to Tim or I gave that to somebody. I just don't like Barbra Streisand. I don't get it. I really don't get it, guys. Whitney Houston, what's the appeal? I don't understand. Same for George Michael. Even the Wham days. Listen, I'm so sick of Last Christmas, and they played it. Oh, good God, I can't stand that tune. The closest Wham song that I half liked is Freedom. I actually, for some reason, liked that, and I don't know if it was because of the horn lines in it or what. That's like the only George Michael related tune I like. I like making fun of I Want Your Sex. I'll do that impression another time. Here's one that I actually liked the first album or 2, bits of it. But ever since then, honestly, I think she just got lucky. And she personally is also a no-talent hack as Madonna. I don't get it, okay? Yes, I was one of those ones that bought the first 3 albums. I think True Blue was the last one I bought from her. And I think I kind of got disgusted after that one. I'm like, I don't get it. And ever since then, to me, it's just lost the appeal. Now, Bruce Springsteen. Yeah. Now, let me say something about Bruce Springsteen. He's on my least favorite as a performer. I don't have him in here as a writer. In my opinion, anyway, Bruce Springsteen is a better songwriter than he is a performer. For example, I liked the Manfred Mann renditions of the 3 they got their hits from him on the 70s. For You, always loved For You. Spirits in the Night, that's another one that's just too cool. And Blinded by the Light. So, just very cool stuff. So, like I said, he can write. I just don't dig him as a performer. I'm sorry. I never got into The Boss. I just don't understand. I think the other closest time I've actually half like is I don't have that We Are the World album, but I remember when I bought it back in '85, him and the E Street Band did a cover version of Jimmy Cliff's Trapped, and I actually liked that one. That and maybe Murder Incorporated off the Greatest Hits. Those are 2 that I can think of that I like. Maybe Tunnel of Love. I don't know why I like Tunnel of Love. I don't know. There's not that much. And the top least favorite of mine, no talent hack Bon Jovi. Yes, why the hell is he in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Does he deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? No! If anybody deserves to go over him, Zombies, Judas Priest, Paul Revere and the Raiders, the Monkees. We could keep going on all this mess. We could. I'm happy that the Moody's got in. They should have got in last year while Ray Thomas was alive, but I digress. Judas Priest should have been in. And I think something funny happened with that voting, too. It's fixed to a degree. But Bon Jovi, no talent hack. That's what it is. The only albums that what was the biggest hits were Slippery When Wet and, oh my God, what's the next one after that? New Jersey. Those were the two biggest. Ugh. And to top that off, not only do I not like their work, but I read an interesting story. Go Google it, because I'm not going to spit it all out here. But it has to do with Skid Row. And it also has to do with how Bon Jovi pretty much got Skid Row to sign up on all the songs. I think it was the first 2 albums of Skid Row, all under Bon Jovi's music publishing company. I have respect for Richie Sambora, because at least he recognized what happened and actually gave some of the money back to Skid Row. Bon Jovi kept it. I just don't like him. I'm sorry. Some of you people are going to bitch about it. I apologize. So that's it for the questions, though, okay? Unless you got some more, which I could do in a follow-up episode. Let me tell you a couple upcoming episodes that I can think of right off the bat. There is going to be a part 2 episode on picking on Psyko. If you remember, that was the one with the guitar picks and the ticket stubs. I found more ticket stubs, so we're going to talk more about some of the concert stories from that. Also, I've got an album episode coming up, including some prizes that I won in a contest from Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark. Plug. And on a 45 episode I can think of right off the bat, there'll be an album, a CD review episode. Not necessarily new, but recent. Like a couple months ago this came out. The new CD from Chuck Negrin, who's one of the singers of Three Dog Night. Really cool CD. We'll talk about that in a separate review episode. And lastly, we'll have to see if the stars line up on this. Would you like to see me and Dougie Fresh, good old Doug Fields, do an episode, or maybe a 2-part episode on the Dave Clark 5? Yes, with one, hopefully say some prayers for Doug. He's not been feeling very well, actually, for the last few weeks. And I hope you're not mad that I'm saying that, Doug, but have some prayers out for Doug. Send him his way, please. We really need him to start feeling very well. So yeah, that's a couple of the episodes coming up, hopefully, in the next month or 2. And I got some new subs. I'm going to tell you right now, Gerard Fletcher, Andrew Brennan, Mikhail Broden, Paul McCartney. Yeah, I know. It's not that Paul McCartney, but I get a kick out of that, nevertheless, saying, Paul McCartney's on my YouTube channel. And new one from yesterday, Linda Hammett. Yeah, so we have welcome all of you to the Psykos Platters Network, where I try to entertain and educate. And also, guys, please, I behoove you, if you have not liked and subbed my channel, please do so. 5 subs away from 500. Yeah, I should have been way past 500 by now. 5 subs away from 500. Let's do this before the end of the month. Get me to 500, we'll do a 500 episode. I don't know what. I'll think of something. But yeah, I need a 500 subs. If Mayo can get 5,000 subs, and he's been on the same time frame as me, I need at least 500 subs, guys. I'm not jealous. Hey, I love Joe. He's great. Those record store videos. But I'm saying, I at least should have 500 subs. And I know you guys can help me out. Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark and Night Owl Lounge. both on 87.7 WVOA out of Syracuse, New York, Sunday nights, 6 to 9 Central for Wax, 9 to 10 for Night Owl Lounge. Subscribe to both their pages on Facebook. You can listen online on uberstations.com. That's the best platform for me. Also, Wallflower Hour, that's a new one that's on right after Night Owl Lounge. That would be 10p to 11p Central Standard Time. Let's see, who else am I going to forget here? YouTube Vinyl Community. Without YouTube Vinyl Community, we wouldn't be having all these lovely shows. I'd show you the new issue of Shindig, but I just got done reading it and giving it to Doug, actually. That's going to be it for the moment, I think, guys. I know I'm forgetting people, but I apologize. Oh, Thrifty Music, too. Tim Smith. Awesome, awesome group, guys. I love you all, and sorry that this got long-winded, but take care, God bless, rock on, and I will see you very soon. That is a Psycho Fact.